Hello Golden State Warriors fans. We are here once again to bring you the latest news related to our team, and I would like to emphasize how committed we are to improving our performance to achieve great results. Before we dive into this intriguing news, I kindly request you to show your support by clicking the like button, and if you are not yet subscribed to our channel, I invite you all to join us on an exciting journey. Remember to turn on notifications so you don't miss anything.
The Warriors have one clear answer to the Kings' ridiculous trade offer for Jonathan Kuminga. As the Golden State Warriors navigate a critical offseason, one thing should be crystal clear: they must stay focused and avoid selling low on one of their most promising young players. Rumors began swirling late Wednesday night about a potential deal that would send Jonathan Kuminga to the Sacramento Kings, with Sacramento reportedly showing real interest in acquiring the athletic forward. But when the details of the proposed three-team trade emerged, they were frankly laughable. According to Ali Thanawala and Tristy Rodriguez of NBC Sports, the deal would have sent Malik Monk to the Detroit Pistons, Kuminga and Dennis Schroeder to the Kings, and Dario Saric, Devin Carter, and 2 second-round picks to the Warriors. That's it. That was the offer. The Warriors have only one logical response: ask for Keegan Murray. Hopefully, Golden State never even entertained the proposal. Fortunately, it appears they didn't. As Anthony Slater of The Athletic reported, there's nothing close to the finish line on the Kuminga front as of the end of Day 3 of free agency. If the Kings are as serious about Kuminga as recent reports suggest, then the Warriors should respond with a simple counteroffer: Keegan Murray. Yes, Sacramento's front office, led by new GM Scott Perry, might hang up the phone immediately. But even that possibility is less absurd than the original offer. And frankly, Kuminga for Murray straight up isn't that far-fetched. Back in May, Jack Simone even outlined why a swap between the two forwards could make sense long before the Kings' interest in Kuminga really heated up. If Sacramento truly wants to invest in Kuminga's upside, giving him the consistent minutes he never got in Golden State, they need to be willing to pay real value. He's just 22, he's improving fast, and he clearly believes he can break out given the right opportunity. Murray makes more sense for the Warriors, on the court and the books. Right now, Keegan Murray is the better, more established player. He's 6 feet 8 inches, shoots the ball with confidence, and fits beautifully next to veterans like Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green. His game complements their core far better than Monk's, and his $11.1 million salary for next season makes a deal financially realistic, even with base-year compensation rules in play. If the Kings won't include Murray, the Warriors' position should be firm: walk away. Let Sacramento chase other options. Golden State can pivot and either keep developing Kuminga internally or explore more competitive sign-and-trade offers from teams willing to meet his value. Warriors facing potential Al Horford disaster if Jonathan Kuminga saga drags on. Time is ticking, and the consequences could be brutal. As strange as it may sound to call a potential signing of a 39-year-old veteran urgent, that's exactly the position the Golden State Warriors find themselves in. They desperately need to land Al Horford in free agency, and every day that passes without a deal in place increases the risk of a crushing setback. Golden State can't afford to wait any longer. The Warriors have been closely tied to Horford since the hours leading into free agency, but with nothing finalized yet, it's becoming increasingly clear that this could spiral into a full-blown disaster, one the franchise may struggle to recover from. So what's holding things up? It appears Golden State's hesitation is tied directly to the unresolved situation with restricted free agent Jonathan Kuminga. The front office seems reluctant to make any significant financial commitments until they know exactly what's happening with their 22-year-old forward. According to Tim Kawakami of the San Francisco Standard, General Manager Mike Dunleavy Jr. has everything mapped out, indicating the team is prioritizing the Kuminga resolution before pulling the trigger on Horford or any other veteran additions. But the clock is working against them. Even if Golden State has a verbal agreement in place with Horford, the longer they delay, the greater the risk he backs out. Whether it's staying in Boston, joining another contender, or even considering retirement, the window is shrinking, and fast. And this isn't just about missing out on a player they've actively pursued. It's about missing out on the player who fits their immediate needs more than anyone else left on the board. The center market has dried up dramatically. Brook Lopez, once linked to the Warriors, has already signed with the Clippers. The Lakers scooped up DeAndre Ayton, leaving Golden State without many other realistic options. According to Keith Smith of Spotrac, the next best available free agent big after Horford is Mo Wagner, who's coming off a long ACL injury. After that, Jackson Hayes, who the Lakers just passed on without blinking. No Horford. No safety net. If Horford slips through their fingers, the Warriors could find themselves starting second-year center Quinton Post, a major leap for someone still adjusting to the NBA. The trade market, meanwhile, offers no clear targets, and other teams would smell desperation from Golden State a mile away. This all comes after the Warriors lost Kevin Looney to the New Orleans Pelicans in a 2-year, $16 million deal. That leaves a gaping hole in the middle, and they need a seasoned big man who can protect the paint and space the floor to complement Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green. Horford checks every box. Horford is not only a 5-time All-Star and respected veteran, but he also brings exactly what Golden State needs: floor spacing, defensive IQ, and playoff experience. He's the kind of player who fits seamlessly with their current core, and he won't require a massive financial investment. But the Warriors are dangerously close to letting him slip away, all because of a saga with Kuminga that's showing no signs of wrapping up soon. If Golden State wants to avoid a scenario where their season hinges on unproven youth or a panic trade, they need to act now. Secure Horford. Stabilize the roster. And only then, once the veteran core is intact, deal with the Kuminga situation on their terms. The longer they wait, the more likely it is that the perfect piece for their puzzle walks away. The ripple effect if Horford walks. If Al Horford slips through the cracks, the golden window for the Warriors' next championship might slam shut, or at least shrink dramatically. Here's what could unravel. Defensive breakdown. With Looney gone and Quinton Post still green, Golden State risks fielding a backcourt-heavy rotation with limited rim protection and interior toughness. Offensive stagnation. Horford's spacing and passing from the elbow are irreplaceable. Without him, offenses may grind in the half-court instead of flowing around Curry, Butler, or Green. Locker room leadership. Beyond stats, Horford brings calm veteran leadership. His presence could influence younger players and help smooth the integration of newer faces like Ayton or Kuminga. Market perception. Allowing Horford to join a rival, say the Clippers or Lakers, during a season where the Warriors are actively pursuing him sends a message to league executives. Golden State is still a top-tier destination, but only if moves happen decisively. What's next? The countdown begins. Golden State's front office is now racing against the clock. The next few days will reveal whether they can close the deal with Horford before he reconsiders his options. Resolve Jonathan Kuminga's future, which is delaying the entire process. Recalibrate their roster plan if Horford walks, possibly turning to trade options or late-market free agents. A turning point for the Warriors. This isn't just about one veteran signing, this is about identity and urgency. The Warriors are still locked into a win-now mentality, but without strategic balance. Missing Horford could reveal cracks in their blueprint, fast. But if they can pull this off, close the Horford deal, reconcile Kuminga's dirtiness, and move confidently forward, they still have the championship DNA and rotational flexibility to make it work. Time is shrinking, and the ripple effects of each decision are falling into place. The next hour won't just define a free agent signing, but possibly the fate of Golden State's next title run. LeBron to the Warriors? The dream could come true, but it would cost them dearly. It's no secret, the Golden State Warriors have long dreamed of pairing LeBron James with Stephen Curry. They even explored the possibility at the 2024 trade deadline. Now that fantasy might have another shot at becoming reality, just not without serious sacrifice. LeBron recently picked up his $52.6 million player option with the Los Angeles Lakers, but his agent, Rich Paul, made waves with a curious statement hinting at conflicting goals between James and the franchise. That has reignited speculation across the NBA, including a bold claim by Phoenix radio veteran John Gambadoro: LeBron wants out of LA, and they want him gone. For Golden State, the path to bringing LeBron to the Bay Area is complex, but not impossible. The real question is, are they willing to pay the price? The cost? Jimmy Butler. While a package involving Draymond Green, Moses Moody, and smaller contracts might be feasible, the cleanest and most painful route would be a straight-up deal: Jimmy Butler for LeBron James. On paper, it works. Butler is set to earn more than LeBron this coming season after signing a 2-year, $111 million extension with Golden State in February. James, by comparison, opted into a $52.6 million deal. Financially, it aligns. But emotionally and strategically? That's another story. Would the Warriors really trade away the heart and grit of Jimmy Butler for a 40-year-old LeBron James on a soon-to-expire contract? Is LeBron still worth it? Statistically, absolutely. LeBron still plays at an elite level. Last season, he averaged 24.4 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 8.2 assists per game, earning All-NBA second-team honors alongside Curry. Even at 40, he remains one of the most impactful players in the league. But as Tim Kawakami of the San Francisco Chronicle noted this week, it's not just about stats. It's about chemistry and culture. The only realistic way to match LeBron's salary right now is to move Butler, Kawakami wrote. And I'm sure the Warriors don't want to do that. They love how Butler has fit with Steph and Draymond, how he's bought into Steve Kerr's system, and the fact that he committed to a 2-year extension. A short-term gamble with long-term questions. There's also the issue of cost beyond players. The Warriors might have to throw in draft picks just to make the Lakers take on Butler's contract, making the deal even less attractive. Plus, there's no guarantee LeBron sticks around. He could leave in free agency next summer or even choose retirement. Meanwhile, Butler can't even be traded until August 6th due to his extension, meaning no move can happen soon. So as it stands, Golden State is balancing two delicate negotiations, resolving the restricted free agency of Jonathan Kuminga, and possibly adding veteran big man Al Horford from Boston. Final thoughts. For the Warriors, adding LeBron James might be the final piece to chase one last title in the Curry era. But giving up Jimmy Butler, who's already proven to be a seamless fit, would be gut-wrenching. The dream is still alive. But to make it real, Golden State must decide whether it's worth sacrificing more than just cap space. It could mean giving up a leader, a fighter, and the very identity they've started to rebuild. Would you like a version of this text adapted for a social media thread or podcast script? Warriors fans slam the panic button over reported Jonathan Kuminga trade package. They can't be serious. That was the overwhelming reaction across Warriors Nation on Wednesday night after a rumored trade package involving Jonathan Kuminga left fans stunned, frustrated, and frankly furious. As Golden State heads deeper into free agency without making a single move, tension is rising, and all eyes are on Kuminga's unresolved future as a restricted free agent. But the latest report? It pushed many fans over the edge. Warriors fans outraged by Kings' reported offer for Kuminga. Speculation surged late Wednesday that the Sacramento Kings were aggressively pursuing Kuminga in a potential sign-and-trade. Names like DeMar DeRozan, Malik Monk, and even Keegan Murray were floated across social media, reasonable returns for a 22-year-old forward on the rise. But then came the shocker. According to NBC Sports' Ali Thanawala and Tristy Rodriguez, a 3-team deal was being discussed. Malik Monk would go to the Detroit Pistons. Kuminga and Dennis Schroeder would head to the Kings. And the Warriors? They'd receive Dario Saric, Devin Carter, and 2 second-round picks. Yes, the same Saric who couldn't crack Golden State's rotation just over a year ago, and who barely played 210 minutes last season for a Nuggets team in desperate need of a backup big. That name alone sent Warriors Twitter into a frenzy. This can't be real. Adding to the frustration was the inclusion of Devin Carter, a second-year point guard with modest rookie stats, 3.8 points, 2.2 rebounds, and 1.1 assists per game, while shooting just 37% from the field and under 30% from three. Not exactly the kind of upside a title-hungry franchise is banking on. Fans immediately blasted the deal online, calling it insulting, a joke, and an outright disaster if it were to go through. A glimmer of relief, for now. Thankfully, The Athletic's Anthony Slater helped cool the panic somewhat, reporting that there's nothing close to the finish line when it comes to a Kuminga deal as of late Wednesday night. That means the situation will carry into day 4 of free agency, and honestly, most fans seem okay with that. Because if the alternative is the reported Kings package, then waiting a little longer suddenly doesn't sound so bad. Bottom line? If Golden State is going to move on from Jonathan Kuminga, they owe it to themselves, and to the fan base, to demand real value. A rebuilding vet, a backup guard, and a pair of late picks won't cut it. Not for a player who still has star potential. And based on the passionate response from Dub Nation, the front office would be wise to listen. The growing backlash on social media. As the rumor mill spun, fandom turned to fury. Warriors diehards flooded platforms like X and Reddit, sharing sharp critiques and memes mocking the proposed deal. Some pointed out the stark disparity. Trading Kuminga for Saric, Carter, and 2 late picks? We'd be downgrading. If that's the best offer, just keep Kuminga. Don't settle. Others warned of the message it would send to the rest of the league. Assets matter, replied one user. If GSW caves to a lowball, teams will know they can get cheap. It's not just the pieces, it's the principle, a fan commented. Kuminga has upside. He's worth betting on. What's at stake, beyond just a trade? This isn't merely about swapping players, it's about what the Warriors believe in and how they're perceived. Player development versus quick fixes. Opting to keep Kuminga signals confidence in their youth development and long-term strategy. Trading him for the rumored offer screams desperation. Front office credibility. Stan officials like Bob Myers and Mike Dunleavy Jr. built Golden State's reputation on smart trades. A lowball deal could damage that legacy and fan trust. Team chemistry and identity. Kuminga was drafted for a reason. Moving him for little return would send a message to other young players about their value in the organization. Possible next steps for Golden State. With the Kings package currently off the table, what might happen next? Kings upgrade the offer. Sacramento still wants Kuminga, but only something better, like a deal involving Keegan Murray, will get Golden State's attention. Other teams show interest. Teams like Cleveland, Detroit, or Orlando, who believe in Kuminga's talent, could present more compelling offers that include significant assets or draft picks. Warriors stand pat. Golden State might simply hold on, opting to refine Kuminga themselves. That preserves both depth and upside, while opening the door to future sign-and-trade leverage. The ripple effect, what it means moving forward. For Kuminga, a potential fresh start, with meaningful minutes on a team like Sacramento, waits if the package is fair. Otherwise, he remains in Golden State's orbit, hanging on to his chance to shine. For the front office, playing hardball now could set the tone for future negotiations. It also shows current players they value their young core. For Warriors Nation, even if patience tests fans, the clarity in decision-making can restore confidence in the team's direction. The final takeaway. The alleged trade leak served as a wake-up call, not just for Warriors fans, but for NBA GMs. Golden State showed it won't be easily shaken, but the next moves will define how they mix youth and competitiveness moving forward. Keep an eye on these storylines. Will Sacramento recalibrate their offer, possibly with a keener eye on Marcus Murray or other valuable pieces? Will rival teams step in with better proposals? And if no deal is struck, will Golden State recommit to Kuminga or pivot elsewhere? One thing is certain, the Warriors are playing for respect. And this trade saga could determine whether they earn it. Bobby Marks issues a wake-up call to Jonathan Kuminga about his situation with the Warriors. Jonathan Kuminga is at a crossroads in his career, and the decisions he makes now could shape his future in the NBA. After 4 seasons with the Golden State Warriors, Kuminga still hasn't found solid ground. Despite flashes of potential, head coach Steve Kerr never fully trusted him with consistent minutes. Now, as a restricted free agent, Kuminga is exploring his options, but the market hasn't responded the way he may have hoped. Kuminga has hinted at wanting a fresh start, somewhere he can play regular, meaningful minutes. But so far, interest from other teams has been lukewarm. One possibility is the Sacramento Kings, who are reportedly considering a move involving Kuminga as a potential replacement for Zach LaVine. The catch? They'd first need to offload LaVine's hefty salary, making it more of a long shot than a sure deal. And that uncertainty is telling. According to ESPN's Bobby Marks, the harsh reality is that Kuminga currently has little leverage in free agency. Appearing on Willard and Dibs, Marks didn't sugarcoat things. Jonathan Kuminga doesn't have much power right now. His best option might be to accept the Warriors' $7.9 million qualifying offer and try again next summer. This just isn't a good time to be a restricted free agent. That qualifying offer, while not ideal, does come with one benefit: control. If Kuminga accepts it, he'll gain veto power over any trades for a year, allowing him to dictate his next move more clearly after the season. It gives him 1 year of protection, Marks explained. It's a non-trade clause for bird rights, so he gets a say in his future. As for Golden State, Marks suggested the team must be smart and disciplined in free agency. If the Warriors want to retain Kuminga and still pursue veterans like Al Horford, they'll need to cap their spending. If the Warriors want Kuminga back and also want to make a splash with a guy like Horford, they're probably looking at a ceiling of $16 to $18 million per year, maybe $20 million max to stay competitive, Marks said. As of now, there's no progress in talks between the Warriors and Horford. Meanwhile, Teams like the Lakers may also be circling. But for Kuminga, time is running out. No significant offers have come his way, and unless something changes soon, he may have to swallow his pride and return to Golden State on the qualifying offer. If that happens, the mission is clear: make the absolute most of whatever minutes he's given under Kerr, prove he belongs, and earn the kind of attention and trust from other teams that he's still searching for. Because next off-season, the same situation can't repeat itself. For Kuminga, this off-season was supposed to be his moment to step out of the shadows, a chance to prove he's more than a role player stuck in a championship system that never fully embraced him. Yet, the silence from other franchises speaks volumes. There are growing whispers around the league questioning Kuminga's readiness to be a cornerstone player. Despite his raw athleticism, versatility, and glimpses of brilliance, some executives remain skeptical about his consistency, basketball IQ, and ability to impact winning at a high level. And fair or not, the limited trust shown by Steve Kerr, a coach known for maximizing talent, hasn't helped Kuminga's case. Still, Kuminga's camp remains optimistic. Sources close to the player believe he's just one opportunity away from breaking out, and they view a one-year return to Golden State as a stepping stone, not a setback. His agents are reportedly pushing for clarity on his role if he does return. They want assurances that he won't simply be buried in the rotation again, especially with the Warriors shifting toward a more youth-focused direction after trading Klay Thompson and letting Chris Paul walk. The bigger picture in Golden State. The Warriors are clearly in transition. With their dynasty years behind them, the front office has to walk a tightrope, balancing development with competitiveness. Kuminga, Moses Moody, and Brandon Podziemski represent the future, but their growth hinges on the minutes they get now. Meanwhile, the front office, led by Mike Dunleavy Jr., has been hesitant to overcommit financially. They're exploring options to keep the team under the second apron of the luxury tax, and that means hard choices on contracts, especially for players like Kuminga, who still haven't fully proven themselves. Adding a veteran like Al Horford would bring leadership and defense, but it could further complicate Kuminga's minutes. And if Golden State's priority is to remain playoff relevant while developing their young core, roles need to be clearly defined, something that hasn't been the case for Kuminga. Reactions around the league. Around the league, the media has picked up on the tension. Several analysts have expressed concern that Kuminga is heading toward a limbo season, not quite part of the Warriors' long-term plan, but not fully trusted in the short term either. NBA insider Shams Charania noted earlier this week that there have been exploratory trade talks involving Kuminga, but nothing serious has materialized. There's interest, he said, but not at the level the Warriors would hope for. They value Kuminga highly, and teams don't want to pay that price without clarity on his development curve. Even Warriors star Stephen Curry has subtly acknowledged the youth movement in recent interviews, saying the team needs everyone to take a step forward, especially the younger guys. That puts more pressure on Kuminga, who now faces a pivotal year that could define the trajectory of his NBA career. What happens next? Unless another team steps up with an offer sheet, and fast, Kuminga may be left with no choice but to return to the Warriors on the qualifying offer. That would make him an unrestricted free agent next summer, finally giving him full control over his destiny. But the road to that freedom will be paved with challenges. He'll need to earn minutes, improve his efficiency, and show leadership on and off the court. Most importantly, he'll need to prove that the flashes of talent he's shown can translate into reliable, winning basketball, not just potential. Because potential only gets you so far. In a league that moves fast and values results, this could be Jonathan Kuminga's last chance to prove he's more than just a name with promise.